we are the nation's largest cage-free, no-kill dog rescue. If you take your dog to a shelter, that dog, sadly, the likelihood of that dog's survival is always very slim. We are the nation's largest cage-free, no-kill dog rescue.
Well, hello, SLAE family. I am back today with a guest that will just make you feel so fabulous and happy because she is bringing joy to the world in part of a huge program to rescue dogs. So joining me today is the Director of Marketing, Natalie Paige, and she is with Big Dog Ranch Rescue. So Natalie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here with such an amazing group of women. I love it. Thank you.
Well, we're thrilled to feature your organization, but first, it's always fun to learn a little bit about you. So, Natalie, tell us a little bit about your background, what inspired you to get into marketing, and then how you ended up at the old BDRR.
Yes, I have a very interesting background. It's since I've been a child, I've been in the film and television world, actually, for pretty much most of my life. I still am. That trajectory with film, television, in front of the camera and behind the camera, and music, led me to the path of marketing. I think it's all the same thing. It's just about being able to bring awareness and bring your passion and your voice and your messaging, whatever medium that might be, to the masses. So I sort of kind of cracked a little bit of a code in my niche of doing things. That trajectory led me down to Florida. I'm originally from the Northeast, up in Pennsylvania. Moved to Florida about 3 years ago and connected with Lori Simmons, the founder of Big Dog Ranch Rescue. I, at that time, had come on as the director of marketing, but probably more because of my background in film and television and my specialty in impactful storytelling and how stories impact our lives. And I have always been an animal lover. I grew up on a horse farm. Still am the person as I was as a kid, bringing home every animal, every kind of stray, anything you could imagine. And I'm a lover of dogs. Obviously, I have dogs, and those two worlds collided, and here I am today.
Amazing. Now, Big Dog Ranch Rescue is a really unique program. There are some things that make it truly special. You've got multiple locations, but there's a common theme with the way that you operate and the way that you handle dogs. So could you take a second and tell us some of the highlights about what makes your rescue program so unique and so fabulous for the dogs that you do save?
Absolutely. So we are the nation's largest cage-free, no-kill dog rescue. So when I say that, sometimes people are like, what is that? Is it like a shelter? And two very different things. If you were to visit our website, which I'll give you all that, but it's bdrr.org, you'll notice it's dog Disneyland, for lack of a better word. This was the vision of our founder. And she literally has made a palace for dogs that have not found their forever homes. And we have everything that you could imagine, from cage-free, customized bunk rooms. They all have individual yards with pools. We have, a whole medical veterinary clinic and facility at our campus. It's 33 acres in Florida. We also have a veteran training program, which is absolutely incredible. We're opening up a Patriot Pet Boarding Lodge, which I'll chat with you a little bit about that. We bring in dogs from all over the world. It's a 24/7 job. We not only rescue just locally in Florida, but as I mentioned, all over the world. So we have another 100 acres in Alabama. We just partnered with another rescue, Saving Hope Rescue, in Fort Worth, Texas. We do a lot of rescue missions along the Texas border. We have rescued dogs from the China meat markets, Ukraine during the war, Bahamas, Puerto Rico. We do national disaster, hurricane relief for the community, and especially dogs that are critically injured, dogs that are on high kill euthanasia list. We do it all, and it is our mission to end dog homelessness, for lack of a better word, but it's a lot. We do a lot of things for really the welfare of ending dog homelessness and trying to give every dog a loving forever home.
It's just an incredible facility. I mean, you guys can go to the website. Also, there's a video on YouTube that I saw that was remarkable. And it's like a resort. It's just awesome.
It is.
So they're not trapped in a little cage or anything like that. I mean, it's a really insanely beautiful facility. And the other thing that I thought was really exciting is what you're doing with some of these dogs and veterans. So would you maybe take a few seconds and tell everybody about that? Because that's kind of a dual project in itself, helping two parties at the same time.
Absolutely. We love our American heroes. It is, just at the forefront of the dogs is really being able to help our veterans and our military. So we have our veteran dog training program, which that program within itself pairs any of our rescue dogs that we have rescued with a veteran that is suffering, whether that be PTSD or any other inability to handle the day-to-day of life. We take those dogs, they are fully trained, and they are paired with that veteran, and they go through our program. And that is completely dedicated towards the veterans, which that is, again, one aspect of the ranch. The other side of that is that we are just now, we're just about completion. I think we are due to complete the Patriot Pet Boarding Lodge around September, October, November. That facility within itself is really important because we will be housing the dogs of deployed military service, not veterans, but military officials, whether they are soldiers in, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, you name it. Those dogs those veterans would typically have to give their dogs up. And unfortunately, they end up in a shelter if they don't have a family member or a friend or anyone to be able to afford to keep the dog. Therefore, we will, for free, house the dog, take care of the dog in their own building, which is the Patriot Pet Boarding Lodge that is designed after our bunkhouses. Again, it's all cage free. They have their own pool. We will open up half of that building to the public for boarding their dogs, which will offset the costs to be able to have this be cost-free for any of the deployed military. So it's really important program. We, really stand by our troops and stand by their dogs as well. And it's very difficult just with the economy and all the struggles that people are having, that the care of a dog and the ability to financially support their dog is a huge factor, and we want to relieve that.
Yeah, it's really, the work that you're doing is great. And that's a brilliant model. You've kind of set it up so it's in some ways self-funding, which is,
yes.
Yeah. Now, while you're doing this, you clearly, with your job particularly, you need to raise awareness. So what are some of the marketing strategies and things you do to help people find out about the program that you run?
So I'll tell you, one of our major outlets obviously is our social media channels. That's at the forefront, I think, as most people, because we live in such a forward-facing, we're all on our phones, we want to see it. So my big role and my reason for, the passion for this particular organization, not just because of the dogs, it's really about their stories. So with that, the most important thing is to be able to tell the story of a dog. It's just you and I are able to have this one-on-one conversation, but an animal does not have that voice that we have. So for me, it was when I came into the ranch, that was at the forefront of my goals, and my mission here is to give each and every one of these dogs a voice. And how do we do that? And that's being able to take impactful stories. Sometimes they are heart-wrenching, and 9 out of 10 times they are, because we do a lot of work where no one else would. They would end up in a shelter, or they would be sadly euthanized. That's just the sad reality of it. But there is also a beautiful aspect of it to be able to show the transformation of dogs, that we are giving them a second chance at life. So for me, it's, not just marketing. It's, you go to a job and you're like, wow, I've been able to give another life a second chance. And what does that look like? What do those stories mean? Where, and that's, where do the dollars go that people donate to us? And what really does that mean? And it truly is saving lives. So that's important to me. And that's my big push with the marketing, on the social front, but we also have very traditional marketing as well. And being able to, reach out to our databases of people that we already have that have signed up, whether that's through traditional email marketing, but there also is community, being able to reach the community. Our community isn't just Florida anymore, so we really are trying to reach the masses. And how do we do that? And how do we engage more people through these marketing efforts? And that's always finding other outlets, connecting with other people, being able to come on to here and, introduce our wonderful mission and be able to say we're here. And I think building partnerships, because we can't do it alone, and we love to partner with our other rescue partners as well and be able to help other communities, because together we become stronger and can make a more impactful difference in lives.
It's really wild because you talk about you're saving lives, but you're also making people happy too, because there's nothing better. Look, there's nothing better than having a dog. I mean, it's just
they're the cutest. Yeah, you can't have a bad day around dogs, right?
You can't. It just changes everything. So you make families happy, or someone who's alone happy, or a child happy. So you're saving lives, and simultaneously, every time they get a forever home, you're bringing joy to somebody, which is just incredible. So, when you do all this, I know it's called Big Dog, but you have everything, little dogs, big dogs. And one of the things that I found really interesting when I was doing some homework is that you rescue puppies. And I never thought about it. It's tragic that puppies are sometimes euthanized. That just made me cry when I first learned that. I didn't even know that until I learned about your organization.
Yes, that actually is a huge part of what we do. Another component, we are very big on sterilization, education, legislation, and those are some of our pillars in our mission. The moms and puppies, we have a whole puppy town, which is like Puppy Town, Puppy Land. We have expanded their individual, almost like a bunkhouse, but they look like little tiny homes to me. That's why I like to describe them, where they have their own separate, HVACs, and the moms and their litter, their puppies can stay together until they're weaned. Pregnant moms that we rescue, they're able to give birth. They have their own private play yard. The one important thing to mention with all of this is that why spaying and neutering is so important is because, 9 out of 10 times too, a dog that is left, or a dog that's roaming around, is not, spayed, neutered, they, reproduce. Those dogs that end up in shelters, it's very sad. I think, I hate to talk about it, but it's important that those dogs, they do not deliver their babies there. They are all euthanized, even while they're in the womb. So there's just no space. So if we can save the life of a mother, we are also saving the life of all of her children, all of her puppies, and we are able to give them all a second chance. We, in the last 2 years, we have grown exponentially, and it's because of this problem that people can't afford their pets, and people are not spaying and neutering, and it's everywhere, and it's so important. But we have really every dog you could imagine. It's everything from, there's no need to go to a breeder. So if you are looking for a purebred, they're there. You don't need to pay for that. You can save a life that needs a home and is looking for a home. We do have them all. We have so many different types of dogs.
There's a drop down menu on the website. Pick the breed you like.
And it changes every day. So, our goal is to save 10,000 plus dogs just this year alone. So
now if somebody's watching this, they're like, I want a bulldog, right? And they go to your website, there's a bulldog, but they live somewhere else. Is there a way they can adopt if they
Yes.
don't live near you? How do they do that?
So first and foremost, they need to go to our website at bdrr.org/adopt and fill out an adoption application, because no one could just walk in and adopt. You have to, they have to be able to fill out the application. It has to be approved. And then from there, that point on, then you would talk to one of our adoption counselors. We do FaceTime sessions all the time with people. We strongly suggest that you do that. If you think you're going to adopt a dog, fill out the application and get the approval first, because especially, dogs like bulldogs or some of the other types of breeds that people really want, they come in and then they go pretty quickly. But we do have transports. We go all across the United States. Rescuing dogs, we have huge transport buses. We have an amazing driver that drives all over the place, and they go to and from the ranch. We also have dogs not just in our Florida location, but Alabama as well. So sometimes the routes from Alabama, are easier to get to different places.
Incredible. And then you brought up something else. So if somebody, most people, how could you ever give your dog? Oh my God.
I know. It happens every day.
Yeah, and I do understand that sometimes things will happen, like someone will get divorced and then they're moving into an apartment, they've lost their home and they can't take a dog in there. Like, there are circumstances that the person can't work around. If they don't want them to end up in a shelter where they're going to be euthanized, can they come to you? Can they go to another shelter? How do they find one if they're in that really bad position? What would you advise someone to do?
So this is the part of the job, and I hate to even call it a job, but it's a part of the reality that is very sad, and it's sad to witness from both ends. I've seen it where the struggle of the person that is in that predicament in life, whether it's something in their personal life or most of the time it's economics, a financial reason. And then there's also the other part of it where I just don't want a dog anymore. It chewed my sofa or whatever. So, it's difficult. I always say this is why it's so important, even with the adoption application process. An animal, they're not dispensable. I look at them just as a human being, and they're a living, loving, more loving than sometimes humans can be to each other.
Often.
Yes. I mean, they give unconditional love. That's all they want. And it is a responsibility to do the right thing. And being responsible means, can you financially afford to care for an animal? They need to be spayed, which all of our dogs are spayed and neutered before they leave the ranch. But that you'd be able to care for, medications, what is your living situation? What is your life situation, your work, your family life? But when it comes to that crossroads, there's two, we take in what we can. That doesn't mean that everyone is at max. Everyone, no matter who you speak to, is always in this situation. We keep trying to grow so that we can, but it is such a massive issue. So if you take your dog to a shelter, that dog, sadly, the likelihood of that dog's survival is always very slim, because there's such a small window of time in a shelter. But I always suggest as well, it is so important to, reach out to your community. Facebook's a great place, to look out for resources. A rescue, we're no kill. So a rescue is they're not going to put your dog down. So
that's important. Yeah.
That's really, especially if you have a breed, there's so many different rescue breed, like, you have the golden retriever rescues, and you have mastiff rescues. We've got a lot of different types of rescues that it's important to do your research and not just be, on the drop of a dime going, I'm just done today. I'm going, that dog didn't ask for that. But it's, that's tough, and there's not much I can do. It just becomes a moral issue that I hope people understand, that, you look at that dog in the face, the likelihood is sad if that dog doesn't find a home. you know, your resources are limited because you have either you're going to go to a rescue, you're going to find another home for the dog, or the dog's going to end up in a shelter. You know, that's the reality of it.
I think the rescue is a great suggestion if somebody's in that. I mean, look, I would die if I had to give up my pet.
I know.
I can't understand that, but I don't want to be judgy. And our whole goal here is to save animals. So if there's some extenuating thing, I think your suggestion of looking up online, those rescue programs, because a lot of them don't take the dog in until
They
they
will.
find a place.
Yes, and
That's a
fosters.
phenomenal suggestion.
So we have a huge foster network too, just because even all the dogs that we have, we don't have enough space. We don't ever have enough space. So we rely heavily on our fosters families as well. So even other people, I encourage, hey, if you're not even looking to adopt a dog, but you want to help, fostering is an amazing way because you're allowing extra space in not just our rescue, or maybe you could with another rescue, to free up that space so they could take a dog into someone that is in that predicament. It's sort of this catch-22 where I think all of us need to work together to figure out the solution to it.
Excellent. And as you said, you are the largest no-kill rescue program in the country. So that does require support, money,
Yes,
all that good stuff. So let's talk about that. Do you have any upcoming events? Do you have fundraisers or anything specifically scheduled?
Yes, so we have a number of community events. They are always, and if you're in the Palm Beach County area, you can feel free to always go on our website. Again, that's bdrr.org/events. We have a number of community events. Our major events season, which is always fun, we have some of the most amazing events. They start up in October. I suggest going on. We have our Bark Bash that is coming up in the fall, and then we always have our wine, women, and shoes. We have celebrity chefs. Those are big ones for us. They're a lot of fun. They do sell out pretty quickly. We were just at the Red Hot Chili Peppers concert last night with some of our dogs. So we do try to go out to the community as much as possible. We love partnering with people that, hey, you have an event and there's a way for us to bring our dogs to you. We love doing that. It helps get some of these dogs adopted and in front of people. So those things are really important. We also have a number of fundraisers all the time that we have going on. We've got some of our really our special funds. That one of them is our Miracle Fund, which is very, very important to us. That supports our dogs that are critically injured and basically are the miracle lifeline to medically save the number of dogs that come in every single day with life-threatening injuries or illnesses that, they otherwise, we wouldn't be able to save them. We have a remarkable veterinary team, an orthopedic surgeon as well. That's a huge one. That's our Miracle Fund. All of these are on our website and on our social channels. Any of those fundraisers that you see, especially on Instagram and Facebook, a number of those go back to our Miracle Fund. That really, just to save a dog's life, not even just feed what it costs to feed a dog and then legitimately save a dog just to bring them into the shelter, but to save a dog's life. All of those are very important.
Wonderful. So if somebody is either listening to the podcast or watching this on YouTube or wherever they hear this, let's talk about a few ways they can support you. So first of all, they can donate on the website, and you said that's bdrr.org.
Yes.
They can follow your other social media. You're on Instagram, Facebook, and you have a YouTube channel.
We have YouTube, we have TikTok, so we're kind of all over.
And then, it is a tough economy right now. So what if somebody, obviously volunteers would be great if they live near one of the facilities, but if somebody is, hearing about this and they go, well, I'd love to support it, but I don't live there and money's tight. Are there any things that they can donate or anything else that they can do to support you? Are there any goods or things that they could contribute?
Absolutely. So a number of different things. If you are local in the community, obviously that's, we have donations, drop-offs right in our front of our facility. We always will take crates. If crates, you have a puppy or a dog or anything like that, we're always at a shortage for those. bedding, old linens, towels, things that we can't take. And I like to just say this because we do tend to get some toys and things like that. And we don't put them in the bunk rooms just because it would be a choking hazard if a dog opened them up. And dogs do, they rip toys apart. So those are things that are, wouldn't be typically great. But someone has, if you've had a dog that unfortunately maybe has passed and they have old medication, things like that are always great for our rescue, because we can, again, it's all about how can we help save these dogs. The other things too, which are really great, you could, spend a little bit of money and adopt it. You're not I like to call it like a virtual dog adoption, but you're sponsoring a dog, whether it's, one of the dogs in our senior sanctuary. We have different programs for that, where it's just, hey, this is like your special dog. We also have our life-saving membership, which that is, that's great. We love having people join that, because that's a little bit more of this exclusive behind the scenes. You get a free hat, but just, for $10 a month, I think works out to be roughly 33 cents a day, you can donate. And all of that goes truly to helping feed the dog, get the dogs vaccinated, spaying and neutering, the care. We have over, 1,000 volunteers that come in to walk. If you didn't want to donate and you were close by any of our rescues, coming in and just volunteering and saying, hey, I have a couple of hours, I want to walk some dogs, I just want to play with the dog. These dogs, want to have human interaction and love, or come in and bathe. Sometimes we have groups from companies too that we love. The companies and organizations that come in and they make a day out of it, whether they're helping us with, or helping our maintenance department, or helping fix things at the ranch, or helping us prep for events. We love having people come out and help us with events, because
That's awesome.
a lot of taking care of these dogs. So there's a number of different ways. If it's a monetary issue, there are a number of different ways that someone could help, help us and help other rescues as well.
That's wonderful. There's two things I want to just touch on again that you just mentioned. One is, you said old blankets or bedding. So if somebody, for example, their kid outgrows their, cartoon blanket that's been on their bed, or their quilt or comforter,
We'll take it.
that's actually really valuable for you.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So when you think they're a big boy or a big girl and that stuff's embarrassing, we could put it
No, we use them all the time, because think about, all of the dogs that come in, you have to change the bedding. Some are, dogs that are sick, especially in our medical, those dogs are, all of them, kind of going in and going out. They all are spayed and neutered. We always need towels, anything like that. Those are, we rely on those donations.
Wonderful. And the other thing you touch base on, so they could set up where it's $10 a month. I mean, that's honestly, people spend that going through a fast food drive-through, which is,
I know,
in a second. So that's not a big contribution, and that really helps you for that little.
It does. That we are really, we love having people become one of our life-saving members, because you truly are saving lives. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, even like think about, 33 cents a day, and what I spend in a day, just whatever we're doing, whether we're stopping to pick up something, but that truly is going to save the life of all of the dogs, and dogs that are, today that need to come in, or a week from now, or the dogs that are here. So we rely on that.
I mean, that's one shot through a McDonald's or a Starbucks, pick your poison.
Yes, I know, right? I know.
Well, I'm so glad that you took the time and I'm going to get on that thing right away. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And I definitely was already running in my head. Oh, I have some blankets and some towels. My son's getting ready to go to college. I can send some stuff off to you. So I assume that the address for donating items like that would be on the website, correct?
Yes, it's just our main location. We also take donations in Alabama. That's in Shorter, Alabama. So if you go right onto our website, we'll take donations any day, there's no
awesome
at this time, but just
great. And it's probably tax deductible too for people, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Natalie, Thank you for all the amazing work that you do and the inspiration of the whole rescue program. It's so wonderful to see not only that the dogs aren't being euthanized, but that they live this incredible life at this ranch. So I encourage people, please go online, please go onto YouTube or the website. I've never seen anything like it. That's why I was so excited to have you here today.
Oh, thank you so much. It means the world, not just to me, but it just means so much to be able to help these dogs. And I can't thank you enough. I really mean that.
Well, we appreciate it. Everybody check it out, bdrr.org. I can say that, bdrr.org. Check out the website. And, if you can do a little bit to help them with the work they're doing, not only for the animals, for the families, and for the veterans, it's an awesome, awesome nonprofit. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.